Good morning, YouTube. It is 10 a.m. in the great state of Texas. And what's going on here? We're rolling in a tabletop. So for the past, I would say, 7 months on this channel, we've basically just been making exclusively bowls. But we haven't built a table in a super long time. So finally got some more time to build something in the garage. And you guys are watching this in February of 2023. This project actually took place in, I want to say, September of 2022 is when we finally got this done. Somebody at work wanted me to build them a table. They were a real big fan of my crayon table that I built. I've done a couple of these tables in the past. And yes, on the past 2 tables that we've built for this channel, we have been using already made tabletops. However, there's a reason for that. So long story short, getting the actual table built is kind of complicated due to the limitations of my tools. I think this is a more effective way and you get a better aesthetic. So we're taking something that already exists and making it better essentially. So here we are with the gouge or the router, and we're just making swirly, squiggly lines, getting that nice, cool, wavy pattern. This is basically what I do for most of my tables, and just get everything cleaned up. Did the gouging portion. Wish I kind of had more like room on the actual table itself. But you can see here, once we vacuum up all the sawdust out of the actual portions, it actually looks really cool. So really happy with where we were at there. Was going to initially do 2 complete layers of just normal pine board on the bottom and do a glue up. However, due to the limited amount of wood that I had in the garage, decided just to go ahead and do 2 portions on the bottom, and we'll reinforce in the middle, which actually turned out to be a lot better. So I'll know that for future projects that I only have to put, 2 baseboards like in the middle like that, clamp it down really good. How many clamps does a woodworker really need? Always one more. So clamp that down. Had like this weird rig thing here because we really just wanted to make sure everything was nice and flush. And once we did that, that was actually on there for like a week because I was having trouble getting in and out of the garage. As you guys know, obviously in and out of the garage due to work obligations. So this is basically just a stairway post that we picked up at Home Depot and Lowe's. Obviously a couple of different sizes there. Every time I use the damn miter saw, by the way, it always, the butthole clenching is just extreme. That thing freaks me out. Miter saws freak me out. I've had one bad incident and it scarred me for life. So here we are. We're basically just taking that superficial layer off. Actually had to leave this one in the garage. It was hot as hell in September of 2022. Obviously we had that heat wave here in Texas, so it had to dry out the wood. The wood was a little damp. It always works a little bit better once you actually dry the wood out. And I didn't show you the whole sanding part, but essentially 60 grit and just going through and sanding everything down real nice and neat. So we took a little bit of plywood here, or a 4x4. Actually, I have no idea. I'm just making up dimensions at this point. And we're just making fence post, or not fence post, we're making legs for the table, essentially, is what we're doing here. And now I'm just getting an idea of where I want to put in my attachment screw, and all we're just doing is making pilot holes, essentially. So this part didn't take any time at all. Obviously, I sanded down those portions of it, and you can never have too much glue. Between glue and epoxy, you can never have too much. So using that and doing deck screws as well, using the impact driver, getting that attached so that it's not wobbly, and getting all those points of contact done. Went ahead and did this with all of them. Again, glue, smear that on there, put your pilot hole in, and then take your deck screw and get that attached. And there's a big difference. If you don't have a compact drill, it's a lifesaver compared to a regular drill. So that, I've actually only charged that battery on that DeWalt drill once or twice, and that thing is still going strong. So DeWalt, it is a good quality. So decided that I had made this a little too tall, so I just came back and took another chunk off of it. So that's what we're doing there. So once I got that down, now we're going to do our burning portion. I actually love really doing this. When I did my last one, I did a similar presentation where I just burnt the wood with a torch. The person I'm making this for was a big fan of that, so basically we're just copying that like same kind of aesthetic there and making sure we get a really good char on there. and getting everything nice and burnt, but not too burnt. We want it marshmallow crisp, but not too much. And then I came back and I did the same thing with the actual base of the actual table itself as well, and just getting a nice good char. You can see there I need to stay away from the you can see my gut on this one. I was like, oof, need to exercise more. But anyway, we're a little off topic there. So now I'm just drilling pilot holes in the bottom of this, and then we're going to take our screws and make those attachment points as well. And I think I also, yep, there it is, went and added a little bit of glue. Is that really doing anything for it? Probably not, but it makes me feel like it's doing something, so hey, why not? It's not hurting anything. And then we're just coming back with the impact driver, making all of our attachment points and getting everything screwed on there the way we need to. The cat just jumped on me, sorry. And here we are, gonna get some crayons. This is the fun part of it. This is where we take all the crayons. And the reason why I put them in the freezer is so that when I take off the actual, the part of the crayon that has the paper, it comes off a lot easier. So that's why we did it that way. So here we are, table again. And I was going to do this cool transition thing where it was like I was going to just do the crayons and then have like this big reveal. And then it just didn't work out that way. And now it kind of looks stupid a little bit. So ended up taking all the crayons, putting them all in there. I kind of skipped over that part because I lost the footage. So I was just like, screw it. Well, next table I'll show you how I did all of that. And then just basically made layers. So I've learned from my previous projects, the actual crayons will float. So what I did was I put the crayons in all the crevices, and then I just did this first initial layer of epoxy just so everything can just attach. Then I went back and added the actual tabletop that's going to be the top layer of the epoxy table. And you can see the little crayon flakes that are there. That was a complete accident that I did, but I like the aesthetic so much that I just left it on there. So when I would take the actual crayons and transfer them on there, some of the crayons like kind of crumble a little bit, and it started to get everywhere. And I initially was going to take all of it off, but I loved it so much, I just ended up leaving it in there. So here we are, got that, this is like the first initial base layer, and now we're just popping those bubbles on top of the actual layer itself, and then we're going to just let this dry for about 12 hours, come back, and then add some more. And these are just like layer after layer that you're just doing here, and you don't have to put like a copious amount on there. You just enough to cover the table to where it's like nice and flat, and you missed the part where I actually was doing the leveling, but it looks amazing. Look how cool this looks. Absolutely love this. So then I just come back and took a foam brush and just doing the sides, and then you're not going to be able to see it much, but I'm actually going to do the actual base of the table as well, and then the legs just to do a nice layer on top. So here we are. Here is the final project. You can see my really shoddy camera work, but look how cool that looks. The crayon flakes look absolutely amazing. I'm going to do another table for another person. I've already had requests for somebody else, but absolutely love how this turned out. Looks gorgeous. Hope you guys liked it. So don't forget to subscribe, all that fun stuff that we talked about. And I'm going to do another one, and we're going to do it better. And I'll see you guys in the next project. All right, guys. Peace. So project is done, and you can tell this is probably the coolest table that we've done. So I'm sure I went over in the commentary all the issues I had plugging in all of the little epoxy holes here. Obviously with the gouge I needed to, or the router, I needed to make it obviously wider to fit the crayons. Some bubbles in there here and there, but overall really happy the way this crayon table turned out. You can see all the cool speckles. I wasn't going to do that. Actually, if I have to build another one of these, I already know how I'm going to address that. A little bit of floating, which will mess with this up, but this is going to be an outdoor kind of like dining table, so I'm not worried about the smudges and things like that. those will obviously work themselves out. But overall, really happy how this project turned out. You know, had a little bit of a crack here on the actual mold itself. Could have done a little bit better as far as like the sanding and the epoxy, but it's still hot as hell out here in Texas, so getting work time is kind of an issue. But overall, really happy with how this turned out. This is for somebody at work who's been asking me to make them one, but this is a pretty good table, probably the best table that I've done. Every time I do one of these iterations, they get a little bit better each and every time. So hope you liked the video, hope you got something out of it. Today is September 10th, 2022. You guys are probably not going to watch this until either late February or March of 2023. Don't know what my work schedule is like or what I'm doing, but trying to put these videos out in advance because of work obligations. But hope you liked it, hope you got something out of it. We're going to do another one of these, I'm sure, and we're going to do it better next time. So I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.